Okay, for this drawing, we're going to do the inlaid linoleum design, the first drawing. Now to start this, we're going to draw a box that our shape's going to fit in. So we're going to draw a box that's 8 inches by 5.5. And then we're going to center this on our paper as well. So let's find the center of our paper. To do that, I'm going to take my T-square, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner of my title block. So from right up here to right here. Don't go to this corner down here. That's the wrong corner. This corner up here. And I'm going to do this very lightly as a construction line, as light as you possibly can. And I don't need to draw all the way to the corner. I'm just going to draw a little bit right there in the middle. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And where these two lines cross, that's the center of my drawing area. So there's my center line. Then I like to put a horizontal and vertical center line in. So I'm going to put my pencil right in the middle, slide my T-square over to it. Make sure your T-square is really tight on the side of your drawing board, don't have any gaps. As I draw, I'm putting a little pressure of my fingers this way. I'm pulling my T-square this way to make sure it stays tight on my drawing board. If you have it with a gap in there, you're going to get a crooked line like that. So you got to really make sure. Now just remember, we don't turn our T-square and put it on the top of our drawing board. That's a no-no. We're going to use our triangle and T-square combo to do our vertical lines. So it doesn't matter which of the triangle, either 30, 60, 90, or 45 for this. I'm just going to make sure my T-square is tight on the side of my board. Remember, I'm pulling kind of with my fingers. And I'm going to make sure my triangle comes right down on it. And I'm going to draw my vertical line in. Again, very lightly. They're just construction lines. Now let's lay in our perimeter box. So it's 8 inches this way. What I want to do is I want to go 4 inches this way and 4 inches this way, because that'll make 8. So I'm going to put my ruler right on there, and I'm going to mark it right on this line, right on my center line. We don't want to use no line because we could get our ruler crooked, which will mess up our measurements. So in this case, I'm going to put 4 on the ruler right in the dead center. So I can go to 0, mark 0 on my right, and mark 8 on the left. All I did was just make a little mark at each location where it crossed that line. Then I'm going to use my triangle. Make sure your T-square is tight to the side of your board. Make sure your triangle is right down tight to your T-square. If not, you're going to get crooked lines. And I'm just going to do really light construction lines right on those locations. Now, for the vertical, it's 5.5. So half of 5.5 is 2 3/4 inches. And that'll give us half the distance. So I'm going to put my ruler on here, and I'm going to measure 2 3/4. I'm going to go right up this edge, right on my line. So there's 2 3/4. Take my T-square, slide it right up to my line, making sure my T-square is tight with the edge of my drawing board. Nice light construction line. I'm going to do the same process down here, 2 3/4. Use my T-square, make sure it's tight on the edge of my drawing board. Nice light construction line. Now, this box here is this outside shape right here. What I like to do now is I like to put in my centerpiece here. So if we look, it's 2 inches wide here and 2 inches wide here. We have to imagine our center line comes down through like that and like that. So we're going to go 1 inch each way. So I'm going to come right down here, right to the edge of my box. I'm going to put my ruler right on that center line. I'm going to come 1 inch to the left. I'm going to go 1 inch to the right and mark it. So there's my mark, 1 inch, 1 inch away. I take my triangle and T-square combo. Again, keep everything tight together. And I'm going to draw in a construction line on each one of those marks. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the right hand side. 1 inch up from that center line, make a mark. 1 inch down, make a mark. So again, 1 inch, 1 inch. Don't need my triangle this time. Take my T-square, and I'm going to draw these in dark. I'm going to go from this line over, because we know where to stop. So that line I drew it in dark. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. Now let's do the top one. From here to here, and then from here to here. Let's do them both at the same time. Now what I like to do is I like to erase this line right here. It was in between them, so I'm going to use my eraser. If you draw them really lightly, they'll erase easily for you. Now I'm going to come back and darken right here. Now we know where to stop. And I'm just going to come back and darken my horizontals at the top. Again, that's right on my box where I left off. So now I know what I need to keep. I'm just darkening it. So right there, right there. So now I have that center section all darkened and laid out. Our last step is to lay in each one of these boxes, and they're all exactly the same. The measurement we need to know is how far it is from the center to here, and it's 3/8, okay? And 3/8, in case you don't know, is 6/16 of an inch. So if we know that, we're good. And we know that this corner lines up with our outline shape, because here's our outline box we drew, would be here and here. So what I'm going to do is, let's do this one. I'm going to put my ruler on there, and I'm going to measure in 3/8 from this line. So I'm going to come over 3/8. So that's 6/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a little mark. Again, you can use your inch cheat sheet if you're not sure. Then I'm going to take my triangle, and I'm going to draw in a construction line. Just like that. I know I don't need to get up in here into this part because the shape isn't up here. So I'm just going to draw a little construction line in. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. Use my T-square, making sure it's tight. And I'm going to darken. I'm going to go right where it needs to end. Just like that. Then I'm going to start darkening in my box right around the thing. Now, once I got that in, I like to erase my little construction line. And I'm going to repeat the same process up above. Now, here's a little trick. I could measure 3/8, but I don't need to. I already did down here. So if I just put my triangle on there, I can get that measurement already. So there's one measurement done. I will have to measure this 3/8, but if I can eliminate measurements, I will. 1, 2, 3. Make my mark. I'm going to darken these lines in. Again, object lines should be really dark, so you got to press down a little bit on your pencil. Darken in my verticals. They need to really stand out on the paper. Erase my construction lines. Now, let's do this one. I could, again, measure my 3/8 and everything, but I'm just going to use this measurement right here with my T-square. So I'm just going to line my T-square up with the line I already have and draw it in over here. Then I'm going to measure my 3/8. 2, 4, 6/16. Make a little mark. And I'm going to use my T-square and triangle, making sure my T-square is tight to my drawing board. And I'm going to darken. Now this last one up here, I don't even have to use my ruler at all. I'm going to use my triangle to get the 3/8 this way. And then I'm going to use my T-square with this one up top to bring that bottom edge over. And then I'm going to darken. Now, once we have that all filled in, what you want to do is you want to get out your eraser shield and you want to come back and clean this drawing up. So you're going to get your eraser shield and your big eraser out. Now just remember, your eraser shield has all these different marks in it. It's made to lay over your drawing to protect your object and title block lines. So what are things I'm going to erase? Well, I'm going to erase these construction lines here in the middle. And I want to basically clean up everything. If you did your construction lines really lightly, they should erase no problem. Other things I want to look for is like right here in this corner. I have overlapping lines. To fix that, I'm going to take my eraser shield, I'm going to put it at like a 45-degree angle and come right up to that corner. And that'll protect my corner while I erase the overlaps. So I'm just going to get this one too while I'm right there. And as you practice doing your technical drawing, you'll get less and less overlapping lines. But we definitely need to get rid of those. So you just go to each corner. One takes a second and it really makes your drawing stand out from everybody else's. Over here, again, 45-degree angle. And erase those all out. And I would go all the way around and clean up my whole drawing using, again, my eraser shield and my eraser. Finally, when you're done, you would come down here and you'd have your title block all drawn with your parallel lines. Where it says drawing name, you're going to write Inlaid Linoleum. Then you're going to put your name, scales 1 to 1, today's date, and this is drawing number 1.